Hey everyone, Christian here, and I'm going to do another one of these car vlogs because it's really hot outside and it's really nice in here, and in order to stay hydrated I'm just going to kind of hang out and we can see more the more that I drive around. So I want you to notice that full head on that palmetto there. That's important as we talk about one thing you should never do to palms, and that is over trim them. And as we look here, you can see these full-headed palmettos, and I notice this happens more the further north you go in the United States. Let's adjust that there. And I'm not really sure why it's done up north. I don't know if the leaves get burned and they just don't want it to look, bad at all. I noticed this a lot in South Carolina. I mean, it's all over Florida as well, but it seems like in more northerly climates, they just have this problem where they just trim up palms too much. And then, of course, I'll show you this. Florida's no exception. We're going to come into this shopping strip mall sorts, and you can see to which level they have chopped up the palms. So notice the Washingtonias and there's a few palmettos here as well, and you can kind of look upward. It's hard to see the Washingtonias, but the palmettos are pretty obvious. I will drive around, and this is the term we call carrot topping, where it looks like you're just the top of a carrot. The only fronds that are on it are a few that are up in the air. Let's see there. Okay, there we go. And these guys here, it just looks like they just got hacked up, and it looks really bad. I just think that it looks like they just really took the essence of what of a palmetto looks like and just really destroyed it, essentially. A full head on these plants looks amazing, and a carrot top looks like a carrot top, hence the name. And they did it to these pygmy dates here, and they can't do it to crown shafted palms. There's a few new foxtails they've replanted instead of I don't know what else is there, but we go around. The foxtails are looking they're looking okay. They have a chance of growing to a decent size, but the palmettos look pretty bad. And again, remember we saw those. We're gonna go back into sorry about the bright light here. We're gonna go back into the way we came in, and you can see the palmettos there. There's a little bit of glare, but the Washingtonians are pretty obvious to see, and they're just not really looking that nice. Now, if we drive back into the area that we went, and I'll show you a fully headed palmetto, I don't think there's a single person that's going to tell me that the carrot top palmetto looks nicer. And the reason that they do this is really just what I call lazy maintenance. If a tree company has a contract with a place like that and they need to trim up the trees, they're going to do it once a year instead of twice a year, which is really when you should do it, at least in Florida for most subtropical palms. But here, let's look at this real quick, and then I'll get back to that. So let me see if I can't get a good view of these palmettos in here. Now you can see the full-headed palmettos, and they really look amazing, and they look like they're sitting there naturally. They could use a little bit of a trimming if you wanted to keep them for your yard, but for just in the median there, I think it looks pretty nice. And so with these contracts that they have, they're not making any more money by coming out twice. They're just agreeing to keep the palms trimmed, and not just dropping leaves or having to pick up leaves, essentially. So that's the only upside to the carrot topping, and I think that it looks pretty ugly most of the year. Usually they'll do it in the summertime before a lot of the snowbirds are gone, which is, I don't really care what time of the year they do it. If they do it, the worst time of the year to do it is actually in late fall, because it starts to cool down. The palm's going to start to slow down its growth rate because it has less chlorophyll to create energy for more fronds. So essentially, it slows it down, and in a way, it benefits both the contractor, person who's doing the trimming, and the people who own the property, because they just don't have to worry about the trash. And again, it is kind of a little bit of laziness. Now, these here don't look too bad. That's acceptable. It's a little bit chopped up. These are all look like they trimmed up a little extra level beyond the green. It's not that bad. It could be a lot worse. The ones coming up here on the left are a little bit too much. But the carrot topping is really the worst. And really don't really just not a fan of that, that style. You can still, if you can see the crown easily without the fronds, in the way, that kind of shows that they're a little bit too, they're a little bit too trimmed up. And over there, that's pretty much just a wild one growing there. But as we go up this way, slowly, this is 20 miles an hour. We can see that there's going to be more palmettos here on the right, and they're all trimmed up. They might have been carrot topped at one time, but really this is the worst kind of situations when someone carrot tops them and then they let the inflorescences grow out. So you have like a carrot topped palm that's flowering, it's putting out all this energy with so few fronds. So I really think that, and sometimes they didn't really trim up these queens too badly. They look, pretty good actually. And a lot of these palmettos, it looks like they pretty much just trim them up to make sure that no one gets hit by anything, just to be safe. A big deal in Florida is palm fronds, because they do drop dead leaves, where most hardwood trees do not drop any significant. They'll drop leaves, but not like a branch, for example. That's one of the biggest problems with palms, and them hitting cars and people suing other people, and just, it really is unfortunate because it really cuts down on the beauty of a lot of these palms. Here's some Lowstoner chinensis Chinese fan palms. They're looking pretty good. not too trimmed up. They don't really grow that fast, but neither do palmettos. So hopefully, if you see someone with a yard that decides to trim up all their palms like that, explain to them how detrimental it is. It really cuts down on how well they look. It cuts down on their growth rate, and it can stunt them in the long run. So that's pretty much all I have to say about carrot topping. Or we can talk about hurricane cutting. Now that's done where you cut all the leaves off, all the fronds off, and that's for transporting mostly. A hurricane cut meaning that, like, a hurricane, basically it's cut so that it can withstand a hurricane, essentially, instead of being blown around. And or as if a hurricane had topped off all the leaves. It's kind of like two meanings to it. So but anyways, that's about it for over trimming palms and trimming palms the wrong way. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more palm related reviews and plant videos, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell notification, as I do go live quite often. And if you have any questions about over trimming palms or under trimming them, leave them down below, and I'll get back to everyone as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.